Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And my good friend Cathleena Hailley is back with us today. And we're going to be talking about uncovering your true life's potential. I think that is, yeah, your life's true potential.
Hey.
So part of what we're going to talk about, is how our beliefs have created our physical body and how maybe we have shut down some of our creative processes. We're going to get a beginning understanding of what influences you and your concerns with your physical body. We're going to talk about resetting your crystalline DNA, and we're going to talk about what the Torus Motion is, what the grid system is, the difference between the old and new grid, and how to access your multidimensional self, as well as what a reset of your crystalline DNA and Torus will do for you. So Cathleena is back with us. And for those of you who don't know, I'll just tell you a little bit about her. She is an embodiment of the Divine Feminine who works with the Council of Nine Collective, and in particular with Jesus, Metatron, and other Ascended Masters. Her coding accesses the womb water of an individual's birth so that they are brought back to their original soul expression, creating a rebirth to allow full expression of the soul's imprint. As the lineage of the life architect, her crystalline DNA signature not only carries the frequency of perfect pitch to align to the original human template, earth template, and this universe's template, but continually recalibrates this alignment. So all that and more you can read up about Cathleena on the live page, on the afterwards when I share on the recording on on YouTube, and my podcast. The bio will be there as well. And so I'm excited about this conversation today, because we were just talking about stuff, right, Cathleena? And it's like, it's an interesting time and it's an exciting time. So there's so much for us to talk about, so much for us to really choose for ourselves. So welcome back to the show.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. Happy. As we were saying, yes, there's a tremendous amount going on right now. It's a perfect time to be connecting with everyone, sharing energy, sharing information. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Excited.
Awesome. So let's get started. Let's get right into it. I want to talk about, the Torus, the grid, like everything. Where do you want to start?
Well, we can talk about the Torus. So in what you were talking about there, what you read, the idea of how our thoughts or our emotions have been creating our physical body. Well, this is like, so when we talk about the Torus, what the Torus is, it's the Torus motion. And if you think about a donut and you imagine going in and out of the hole of the donut all the way around, that's what's called a Torus motion. It's this motion that goes around. And that actually creates what's called a unified field. And the unified field is where all things show up. And we have the Torus motion in our physical heart. And so the way in which we actually create, because we are creator beings, we are energy, we are consciousness. And so our consciousness actually interacts with our physical brain. So the actual creative process is we have a thought, and the thought literally comes out your head as a geometric shape. And then you give it an emotion. The emotion is the fuel. And so the fuel of the thought then pushes it into the unified field. And depending on whatever emotion you have, which is the fuel, and the rate and how much you give it, depends on what ends up in the unified field. In the unified field, there are energies in there that make a match for whatever it is that you've now created, and that ends up coming up in your physical world. Well, several things about that. So this toroidal field that's in your heart has three layers to it. It has a mental, physical, and emotional layer. And so because your thoughts, in essence, are the thing that is ending up in there, okay, in this field. And it's really the emotion of your thought that's the creative process of this. When we, very young, when we are told who we are, when we're told what it means to be a man or a woman or whatever, you become that. And so when you become that, when you go to have a thought, especially like a creative thought. So say an example might be, if I was told what it means to be a woman, and I was not being that at the time, and suddenly I shifted into this more stiff sort of position, let's just say, of whatever it meant. So say for me, meaning what it means to be a woman might be something that I have to kind of hold myself stiff, right? So that energy is what I have become. And so now when I go to create, the underlying frequency of my creation might be something stiff. So an example might be if I'm thinking about what I might want to do in my life, I most likely would pick something that I could practically do, that I was able to do, but not something that might be fun or something light and loose, because I'm not that. And so because we have this energy, right, frequency behind what it is that we're actually thinking about and creating, remember, that's the fuel. So I would be giving this kind of stiff fuel to my creative project of whatever I want to do with my life. I'm now pushing that into the unified field. That's what's going to show up as a match. So I'm going to end up with a job that I can do, but I probably don't like. And so several things about that. Not only did you have that process, which we're going to begin to unwind, but in this unified field, in this Torus, you've now put that choice with that frequency in that Torus, which means that you're going to continue to pick from those choices that you've kind of put there. So what we're going to do, and part of what I'll do a bit later, is do kind of a clearing, because this whole idea of neutralizing, being in neutral, being in the now moment without judgment, allows for all those frequencies and things like that to kind of pause, so I can have me step in and become who I really am, not what I've been told, right? Mm-hmm. So I know that was a lot of dialogue, but I wanted to really get, the gist of it. And one thing I will say is that one thing about me, as this frequency alchemist, I'm not just arbitrarily talking. I'm actually neutralizing, alchemizing frequencies through the language, through what I'm doing even now. So it's all kind of coming in. So nobody needs to squeeze their brain about this right now, because it's coming in on different levels. Yeah, so no need to be concerned about that.
Awesome. So, but it is true that our beliefs, our thoughts, our frequency, our vibration is what is creating our reality, including our body, including our, just what we are creating with our lives, right?
Yes, it's the emotion of your thought, and that's really important. Like the law of attraction talks about your thoughts are creating, but it's really the emotion of your thoughts that's creating, and that's what's really important. And that's what we want to really address here, because the emotion is the fuel of your thought. And when you talk about the physical body, because this is what today is about, it's about the physical body. Just like I gave that example about, if I was told what it meant to be a woman and I was stiff, well, I'm literally then taking that, the frequency of this kind of stiffer energy, and I'm interacting in my physical body in that way. And that can cause a lot of discordance, disturbances, diseases, things within the physical body, because you're not allowing for the natural functioning or movement of your own self, your soul interacting with the body. You're actually holding it. And so it's more than just, I really desire to be myself. It's that when you are not yourself, your body is not operating in the capacity that's meant for it to operate from your unique signature.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And so the emotions, are emotions about our body, our reality, being a woman, being, from India, an Indian woman with gray hair. Mm-hmm. Those are all words, right? But how do I feel about that? Right? So, so this is who I am, but emotionally, how am I feeling about that? I feel fine, right? So I'm good with it, but I wasn't always.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Exactly. Because you've allowed, so what the energetic process of that is you have allowed for your soul's signature, your crystalline DNA, to interact much more with the carbon DNA, your physical body, than this energies and frequencies and emotions that the collective have been giving you or told you. And that's the name of the game. It's allowing for our unique signature to interact in this vessel, not our signature sitting back, listening to the dialogue that's coming in and interacting with that. That's what we've been doing. We've been interacting with the emotions and the belief systems given to us instead of us recognizing those are all frequencies. And when we can, like you, it's like, yeah, you had dialogue and things about that, but you found your way, which is beautiful. And then you show up as yourself, which is why you're here, why you're doing this wonderful energy, right? That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
And it's much more than just doing it fun, right? It literally frees up the body. And you can literally change things in the body and release things that are in the body, diseases, all kinds of things. And that's really what we're kind of getting at today about that.
So that was just a really simple, I was trying to give a really simple explanation to give clarity, right? Am I frozen? I think I'm okay. We'll see. I'll keep talking.
You're kind of frozen.
I'll keep talking and see what happens. So I just wanted to say before we went further.
I'm not hearing you. You're frozen.
Can anybody else hear me or see me? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me or see me. Oh, I guess not. I don't know if it's me or if it's Cathleena.
We're kind of frozen up there. I can't hear anything.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. It must be me because nobody else is saying anything either. Can anybody hear me?
Hey, I think you're there. You had a little bit coming on. It was kind of frozen. I think we got you back.
That's I think good. I'm back. Yeah, it was definitely me. Yep. So that was weird. All right, everyone. You can all hear me now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You might have heard yourself. I didn't hear a burp, burp, burp.
Yeah. So if you did put anything in the chat, it's gone now. So I was gonna say right before that was, if you have questions for Cathleena, raise your hand or type your question in the chat. And I know there were some beautiful comments people were writing in the chat. I don't know if you saw them, Cathleena, how saying that what you were saying was talking directly to them.
Yeah, I can see them right there. Yeah.
Okay, you can see them. I can't see them anymore, but you can see them.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, good. Great. Thank you.
Weird. So yeah, so I don't know when you want to take questions or not, or if you want to continue with the conversation, totally up to you.
Anytime is fine. If anybody has any questions, feel free. Sure.
Okay, awesome. So Anne is asking, I have a physical and emotional heart issue, would love to clear it. So what is that about, do you think?
I'm sorry, the question was, is the question sitting here in the chat or no?
Yeah, it's from Anne. She says, I have a physical and emotional heart issue.
Emotional heart issue. Would love to clear it. Okay. Well, do you want me to move in? I mean, I can move in and actually do yours, or I can just tell you about what those things typically are. Yes.
Because it might be also, it might be helpful for other people too, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Anne. Yeah.
Whatever's best for the big group. I would love to get my arms around this one and clear it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel right away, you've got like a squeezing going on right around your heart. There's a lot of you have a beautiful soul. You're probably going to get pretty emotional, because if I step in pretty deep, it might create that for you, because I'm already feeling it. But there's a lot of protection around there. You've had a lot of heartache, you've had a lot of disappointment, you've had a lot of things in your life that you've felt and you've been experiencing, and it's just that you've got layers that are sitting around it, and it's beautiful light that's around there. I can move that for you if you want. Do you want to do a little process right now? You okay with that, Laura? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Is that okay, Laura?
Yeah. Of course, absolutely.
So, yeah, so this will benefit anyone, because really where everybody is, huge thing in that heart right now. This is a lot of things where people are feeling right now. So, and I'm just going to ask you, and everybody too, you can go ahead and close your eyes for a second, and we're going to start taking some nice deep breaths. And I want you to be breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just keep breathing and relaxing. And it's really the little child. I'm going to step deep in. I'm going to step into the physical heart, and I'm going to spin this very high frequency white light. I'm stepping into the heart technology. We're spinning it through the back of the heart. I'm going to clear through timelines. This is the timeline of the child, of the little girl or little boy. There we go. And what I'm bringing in is I'm bringing in pure source, and I'm just bringing it into the hearts of all the children. I'm going to carry it through the back of the heart. Keep breathing. And we're just bringing this into a neutrality, because it's really, particularly in your case, it's like a scared, like a nervousness, like just simply almost afraid to show up, to have your heart show up. You've been allowing that in a certain capacity, which is why you have struggles in your heart, because it's trying to push out. It's been trying to show up. You've had layers upon it. So I'm just going to clear those. I'm just going to keep clearing just for a minute here, a little bit more. I'm going to clear through the whole physical body. Take a deep breath. Just going to imagine this like little particles breaking up and just floating right outside the body. I'm going to carry it all the way across your whole body, your whole chest. We're just clearing this, like bringing in this very high frequency diamond white light. Almost cleared all the way through, all the way to the toes, fingertips, the whole body. Take a big breath and carry it all the way up to your head. And I'm going to expand you out 360 degrees. And I'm going to clear off your back too, because I'm going to put some space in between you feeling like you're on your own and you have to support your own self and there's no one to support you. I'm going to put space between that and your physical back with this high frequency diamond white light so that you have integrated in your back pure source. Take a deep breath. That's great. I'm going to create a little bit more space there. That's great. And I'm going to expand you out 360 degrees and put you in a bubble of white light to allow this to continue. Beautiful. All right, how do you feel? You're muted.
Very good. Thank you so much. So nothing's by chance, and you've made my day, my year, my century.
Fantastic. Wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you.
And so, you know how before we started, I was like freezing cold. I'm like hot now. Like I'm really toasty warm.
Yeah.
I knew what happened.
Yeah, of course. Beautiful energy came in. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to continue talking as we're answering questions, because otherwise we won't get to any of the content that we wanted to make sure we get. Right, Cathleena?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
So we will take some more questions, but I also want to make sure that we talk about some of the stuff, like the resetting your crystalline DNA and how that can help you. As you know, I think is really important. And as well about the grid system, the old and the new. And yeah, so just talk a little bit about that first, and then, we'll take a few more questions.
Okay.
I'm still processing too, that heart process right now.
Yeah, that's going to continue. Yeah, that was beautiful. That was very important. So the crystalline DNA is your soul signature. And when you are born, it's that soul signature ends up in the womb water of the mom, and it combines with the carbon DNA and then interacts and you become you. So and there is a time in your chronological life, in your physical life, that you are 100% aligned in your physical body as your complete soul signature, which is your crystalline DNA. And that's when you're very young. And it's before, probably about the age of 2, before you learn language, before you don't have to actually speak, but before you understand language, you are 100% your multidimensional self. Your crystalline DNA is completely communicating with your carbon DNA. And why it's important is the two create a communication that communicates with your oversoul and with your higher self and oversoul, which is really, that communication gives you your whole really purpose for being here and all of that. But what happens is, like I said, once you start to understand language, you're told who you are, you're told what things are, you're told these things. And so you become that. And what ends up happening is your crystalline DNA begins to kind of shut down, get quieter, and your carbon DNA becomes much more strong. And it's really it's doing that because you are pulling yourself out and allowing for the frequencies that are just in the collective to kind of fill that space. And that's why you end up becoming something and someone instead of yourself. And I just want to say something a little bit to this, and this is not necessarily on this talk, but it is something that's important. Most people here know about the ascension process, that we are ascending. And, it is the physical body that is ascending. We are not ascending. We are fifth dimensional higher beings. So that's why this reset of this crystalline DNA is important, because what it does is it allows for the physical body to go into a neutral, so that it's almost like, so that the cellular body that's been vibrating at these other rates from the collective gets a pause. And so when it gets that pause, your soul signature can come in and interact much more with it. Okay, so that's what's important. The grid systems around the earth are communication networks. It's how we communicate. All things have a grid. We have a grid around us. This is earth. We have a physical template grid, which we'll talk a little bit about the frequency adjuster and what that does in a few minutes. But so the earth also has this grid and communication, and it's to communicate the purpose of what Source had in mind for this planet. And so this planet's resonance frequencies are love, truth, beauty, and goodness. That's what the plan was for Earth, to have those resonance frequencies and all the qualities of them, all the emotional components of them. So the very original grid had those, because those are actual frequencies. Love, truth, beauty, goodness are actual frequencies. And so the original grid allowed for those to be coming into the earth, and you would be interacting with those authentically. But then there was a change in that, and that grid system shut down. And so when those authentic frequencies got cut off, what happened is the experience of those became the collective agreement of what they are instead of the authentic. So it'd be like, love is, my Corvette, or, whatever, instead of it being this authentic frequency. And so when that kind of thing happened, again, that's where we become something, and all of those things are affecting your physical body first and foremost, because like I said, the physical body is the thing ascending. So even the aging process, any of those things are I am sure are related to the collective beliefs that have been given, not the authentic way in which our body can function, by our soul signature.
For sure. Absolutely. Good. Thank you. All right. I want to take a few questions because I know there are lots of people with their hands raised, but I want to go to Susan first before she loses the raising hand thing. Susan, do you want to unmute yourself? She has her hand raised now. Yes. Awesome. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yes.
You're welcome.
I put in the chat that I've just been having very painful issues with, they say it's osteoarthritis. I had a bad break under my knee, or my right knee, with my tib and fib. But since then that was years ago. But since a recent gut operation, I got a mesh. It's like my whole body on my right side's gone out of alignment, and my hip and my knees I'm really losing mobility. And now my thumbs are getting quite painful. Is there anything you can do to help me get back on track and aligned? I'd be very grateful.
Yeah, for sure. Well, immediately it's because there's too much of that masculine energy, which is the mental energy. It's because you're afraid. There's a lot of fear involved in that, a lot of fear in in the body shutting down and not being okay and so on. So there's this overemphasis of, the mental energy coming in, and, because the masculine is the mental, the feminine is the spiritual energy. And so, and the right side of the body is representing that. So there's this tremendous amount of trying to pull in. So it's a lot, what's happening is, I'll shift some of this for you, but instead of using your frequency energy to communicate in what's called the resonance field, which is basically, right, your field, you're like trying to figure it out from the brain. So you're narrowing, and then you're aligning to, it's really underlyingly like fear and, what might happen if I'm older or I'm by myself. There's a lot of those dialogue kind of going on that's making this happen stronger.
It really happened. I was really aligned and using my full powers, like you, for this operation on my gut, where I've got a plastic mesh. And since then, I'm like a different person, and I'm doing all the things that I used to teach people not to do.
Yeah. Well, because the gut, of course,
the fear, like you said, very much.
Yeah, I'll clear that for you. Yeah, that's coming through because, of course, the second chakra is all the emotions, and it's an access point. And what's happened is you've just unintentionally allowed it. You're allowing for it's an access point that's coming in. So I'm going to reverse that for you and shift this out, okay, so that you can allow yourself to come into a little bit more ground. Okay, yes.
And I think lots of other people also require that as well, for sure.
Yeah, this will be a huge, this is, again, no coincidence, right? This is a big thing, especially for, again, right now. So what I will say about this before I step in is that, there are two timelines playing out. So there's the timeline we're calling the New Earth timeline, and then there's this whole agenda timeline. And how to stay within the new earth is all about being neutral. It's about being in the now moment without judgment. And yes, when we have vulnerabilities, these energies, and there's a lot of technology out there that's doing this purposely, that's going to they're sending out, these frequencies are amplified, all these, particularly, doubt, shame, anger, blame, anxiety, hopelessness, all these frequencies are being amplified right now. And so if you have any little access point, it can go in and amplify it. The trick is just allow it, okay? So it's not like push it out, it's not like judge it. Remember, no judgment, it's simply allow it. And so that's what I'm going to get used to, and it's just to allow, and not attach to it in the story. Okay, I'm going to clear this and shift that. But as these things try to come in and tell you a story, you simply just say, no, I'm not interested in that story. It doesn't mean the frequency is going to go away. It doesn't mean you're not going to feel those sensations of anxiety, whatever. It means I'm not grabbing it as a story to hold it and store it in me. It means I'm going to let it just dissipate into the now, okay? And there are other practices we can do. We can do meditations, baths, things like that to help that. But I'm just going to shift this for you, okay? So let's go back in, and everybody close your eyes again. And just take some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just letting go. And for you, Susan, I'm going to clear out of the physical brain first. I'm going to clear out of the physical brain this whole dialogue of worry, concern, and so imagine it like little dirt, like particles in the physical brain. I'm just going to imagine it breaking up, just floating right outside the head, and taking it out of the top of the head. Take a deep breath. And this is just all this. There you go. It's old worry, as you said. You've worked through this. That's great. Just let that go. And everybody else, just let that go. This is just all that fear, it's worry, it's concerns. That's great. Just let all that out. I'm going to open up your crown, and I'm going to alchemize that. We're going to send that all back to source. We're going to pull that all out of your body as it's coming up, your whole body. Just keep breathing. And I'm really going to clear that out of the whole right arm down to the hand. Again, imagine it like little particles. And this is all this that I have to figure it out. I have to keep going. I have to do it, kind of this energy and frequency. We're just going to keep, just imagine that, just lifting right out of the shoulder, out of the arm, just little particles breaking up. That's great. Just let it out. Breathe with your breath. Every out breath, just imagine the little particles just floating right out of the body, out of the arm, out of the leg, all the way down the whole right side of the body, all the way to the foot on the right side. And again, it's there. It's all this belief that I'm on my own, I have to figure it out, I have to do it. No, particularly along the outer edge of the right side of the leg. Keep breathing. Just keep breaking that up. This is a lot of the father's energy as well, too. We're going to release your father. It's attachment, so we're going to get rid of that. He's all around the leg. Just going to keep just releasing the frequency of the father. There we go. Just keep breathing. There you go. Great. Keep releasing. I'm going to clear through that digestion. I'm going to clear through actually the solar plexus. This is where we identify ourselves. And to the lower back, we have your father on the lower back as well. It's like a push, like he's pushing you. Energy. It's on your whole spine. We're going to release that. It's great. Keep breathing. And again, I'm gonna create that space in between your back and this. It's really the male. It's like a lot of. So it's just a lot of. It's your father and a lot of male energy of how a woman has to be strong in a certain way. There's that energy all up your spine. I'm just creating a space between that and you. Bringing in this high frequency white light. And just letting that penetrate into your back. And we're going to move that literally through the body as we push out of the whole front of your body. Any more of that imbalance of the masculine energy. And now I'm spinning this around your whole core to bring into balance, neutrality, the masculine and feminine energies. So I'm going to spin that down into the core of the earth and also plug you into the dark room source. Take a deep breath. Great. I'm going to just release out of the hand as well, all the way down to the fingertips. On both hands, because you're starting to get it on the left, we just release that out. Great. A deep breath. And just come in center. Tell me how you feel. There's a lot of energy.
Yeah, a lot of energy. Wow. How are you doing, Susan?
How you feeling?
Great, much better, thank you.
You're welcome. That's going to continue. So just allowing that. So just remember, as that dialogue tries to come in, just let it play out. Don't grab it, because you're very light right now. So.
Thank you.
Goodness, thank you. Oh, that was a lot of energy moving around. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. So I want to go to Emily. Emily, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, hello. Thank you so much for choosing me, and thank you so much for your work. This is all new to me and very exciting. And I've been having a lot of urinary tract issues. So I just went to the doctor today and they figured out it wasn't an infection, but they think it's something like more mechanical. And they were looking at my record, and I've had this like 3 times over the past year, like this recurrence of this kind of like unknown issue. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing a lot of work right now, like a lot of soul work and inner child work. So I'm moving a lot of energy. So I just wanted to ask about that.
Mhm. Well, I'm clearing that. It's actually too. It's really just it's a high. You've just collected a whole lot of things. It's really more like the womb. It's like in the womb water. It's in the fluids, but it's down in that area, and it's like a ball of energy and frequency that was building up because you're not allowing it to move. I'm trying to figure out how to dialogue that with you, but I can see it. Actually, I'm starting to pull it out and sit it in front of you, and it's a ball of, it's kind of discordant energy, but it's a different type of discordant energy. It's not something that would be dark or dense or anything like that. It's really I'm clearing it now, so it's going to clear out. But it's related to like a birth, like you birthing your energy, your soul, allowing that to come up. You haven't been allowing it really. I just pulled that out, so we just let that out. It's really more on the left side. I think it was coming out there, the left side of the body and down the leg. But it's moving now. I can feel it's like a Kundalini kind of energy. Allow it to come up. There's a gap between your solar plexus and the heart, where the solar plexus identity. So you were kind of not really letting this movement kind of come up. It's like I said, it's like a birth. It's also not rooting enough. So there's a little bit of pulling up your root, like you're not super safe maybe, or like where you are necessarily in the world, that kind of energy. You're kind of, because you've been pulling that up. So it's a little bit of, it's not super strong in any of those, but it's a little bit of that, like, I'm uncertain. It's just, you've been dialoguing between that whole area of your body. So just going to let that open, just open up that root and let that all just drop out. Don't be afraid of that. Plug into the core, which is doing now. Just let that, and you're really holding it though in that sacral lower area. The whole sexual organs and sexual energy is our creative. It's how we create. So that's really trying to open the section there just below the belly button. There's a portal, and that's our physical body has that portal energy there. So I can feel that it just needs to shift a little bit. If we want, we can shift that. This may be something that's pretty important for the collective as well. You want to do a little shift here?
Sure, why not, right? I know that Kate had also had a similar thing, and as well as recurring yeast infections. So
Yeah. Well, this would be good because, this is all, of course, this is another thing that's really going on because, like I said, sexual energy is what's been very distorted on the planet. And so we're having a lot moving through there. And this is moving through the lower three chakras are all about our connection on the earth. So I'm just going to really shift this because I can feel there's a place in between the sacral and the solar plexus chakra that's definitely got a block. And I think it's in pretty much everybody here. So let's move in and do this, all right? So again, let's close your eyes. Take some nice deep breaths. And just keep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. In this case, I'm stepping in and I'm clearing actually timelines and lineage that's been connected to like a fear to really completely plug into the earth. So I'm opening that through the root, and actually Gaia, the core Gaia is coming up and bringing some codes. It's going to move through your legs and up into the root. And these are, this is a crystalline codes of like the authentic, it's love, but it's a different frequency of that. I guess you could say it's sort of calm, kind of safe, but it's not really that frequency. It's hard to describe. This is coming up. There you go. Keep breathing. We'll just let that connect in. It's coming up like as though, almost like if you were having water that was coming all the way up the body. And right now we're about halfway at the legs. I'm going to come up and bring it across the hips. And we're letting that integrate right now. And it is a high frequency, a kind of white, it's like a crystal. There we go. Take a deep breath. And we're just going to allow that. We're going to bring that straight up the central channel through like the pubic bone area, straight up through with the umbilical. And it's going to spread out across through the whole sexual organs, including the digestive tract. And then we're going to carry that up, clearing through this channel. It's these crystalline codes. It's kind of like the Christed body, but it's a slightly different frequency because Gaia is bringing it specifically for this clearing. Keep breathing. And we bring that up, clearing through the umbilical, now the section between the solar plexus. And clear it. I'm going to bring this all the way up the body. And carry that all the way up the whole head, chest, body. I'm going to take it all the way to the fingertips, the toes, all the way up to the head, and open up the crown and all the way up to connecting into source. So we're just bringing in a new coding from Gaia into, we're going to integrate that into the entire carbon DNA. We're calibrating it to the carbon DNA now. And this is just this, we'll call it kind of like a soothing frequency. It's just going to allow for a greater ease of presence. Great. Take a breath, and when you're ready, just come back. Tell me how you feel. That's going to continue to integrate as well.
Really good. Really good. A lot of like tingling energy around my belly button.
Yeah. It was a very interesting frequency is coming up for everyone. Really nice, soothing. For you, I would let that just keep opening up that second chakra. That it's a space between. It's literally like at the belly button, a little bit below it, and a little bit below it, really there. I would just keep imagining like particles leaving there. Something still needs to shift. I know. Laura's gonna be, you're moving so much energy, you didn't even know, right? We'd be doing this much. What your day's like, the rest of it.
I know, right? Luckily, I have nothing else going on after this, so I'm gonna rest. And it's like, oh my goodness, so much energy. I'm hot again, so each process, just so much. So release, 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 let it go, let it go, let it go, the best you can.
Yeah, that totally cleared. Yeah, Emily, that just really cleared. There's still just a little bit there, so just allow that. But yeah, I think that whole thing's going to go away.
To picture the particles leaving from there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
Awesome. Good. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you so much.
And everybody else who was also releasing and clearing, good job.
Yeah.
keep letting go.
A lot going on.
So Kate, hopefully that helped you as well. Okay, let me know in the chat how you're doing, okay? I don't know if you can talk or not, but if you are, great. If you can, great. If not, that's okay too. Oh my goodness, I'm like sweating. Kate says yes, but still feel the burn. I'm trying to be patient. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you have to allow for this to go. There's some resistance in I can feel certain energies. One thing I will say is that this is not efforting. when we're doing this, you just have to simply allow. It's just really all I'm doing is neutralizing, alchemizing energies and frequencies that are creating things out of balance,
Mhm.
and allowing for your natural soul signature to just engage. But there's a lot of frequencies that are around. So that's why I say is that we can alchemize that and bring that in, but it doesn't mean that you aren't going to have experiences of them. The more that you can allow for your own soul signature to engage in your body and then expand your frequency out will be when you don't experience these things.
Awesome. Good. Thank you. All right. So was there anything else that you want to talk about specifically? I'm looking at the, the live page, right? To make sure we don't forget anything crucial or important.
Yeah. Nothing specifically other than I think you were going to show them the frequency adjuster just because, well, with the adjuster, so I have a handheld instrument that Laura
Here
has.
it is. So I have a frequency adjuster that I got from Cathleena, because I went on her website. It's like, oh, what's that? Let me try it. So I ordered it. I got it, and it's like, I have to tell you, like, since I've gotten it, everything in my life is changing. So I was like, I don't know if it's this or something else, but there's been so many changes.
Yeah.
I can't talk about yet, but lots of stuff.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me because what that's doing and why I wanted to bring that up and recommend that people take a look at it is because I mentioned just briefly about everything has like a grid system, but we have what's called a human template. And you want to think about the template, it's like a blueprint of the human body. So it's, just kind of like a general design, so to speak, 2 arms, 2 legs, whatever. And this is literally how I work in private session as well, too, is I see that kind of template and then I work with things on it, which is what I'm doing with you even here. But this template is important because how we come to the earth, so we are energy, our soul literally enters into this physical template or this etheric template. And then the design is that we are this giant energy, and energy consciousness that we are is basically information, and how it's meant to be is that we take this giant information, think about like if we're a library, and so we're a library of information, our soul is, and we download that into our brain, and then that information that we've downloaded into our brain communicates with our body and creates in the world. That's how we're meant to do that. And that happens when, this body is at neutral, and then we bring in our frequency, and our frequency then interacts with it. That's the design that happens. That's not what's been happening. What we've been doing is we've been taking our consciousness and sitting it on the side, letting the collective and all the beliefs and everything in the history that you've told download into this brain. And then our little us is listening to the brain and interacting with that. And that's a very different dynamic that's been going on. So this frequency adjuster gives you that neutral point. So it allows for the physical body to go into the neutral so that you can bring more of your soul signature into your body and interact with it. And so that's why it's important, because, you're getting bumped around. And so when you have different things in the body, the diseases, the different conditions that go in the body, what that frequency adjuster is going to do is it'll give you a pause moment of whatever that is, so that you can begin to understand from a much greater level, from what's called a resonance level, your energy, about what's really going on with you, and allow for those things to shift. Okay. So yes, when you have it, because you go into pause, most likely, yes, many, many things are going to begin to change in your world, because everything's about matching frequencies in order to be comfortable. And you've been matching things that are at a much denser place, which is the reason that you have a disease or something in your body. And by the way, it is much, much harder to keep a disease or condition in the body than it is to release it, because it is a very dense vibration. And it's like you're holding on to it and you don't understand that. It's actually much easier to release it. And so you'll be able to have that much greater experience with having something like frequency adjuster. And you know, just to preempt this, the frequency adjuster came originally to me because I was having difficulty finding that 0 point. It's not something, if we were on a world where we only had the one timeline and we were interacting normally, that wouldn't be something we would need. But right now, it's a beautiful thing to have because it gives you an opportunity to be in that neutrality place. And it does feel important.
And I don't do anything with it really. I mean, sometimes I have it here on the desk when I do shows. Sometimes I have it on my altar when I'm meditating. Sometimes I have it near me on the couch when I'm doing other work, you know, so it's there, right? So I'm not really doing much with it except for when I first got it. I will say that when I first got it and I put it under my pillow or I slept with it that first night, well, I did not sleep. It was like, okay, let's not do that.
because it will exponentially move, because what it's doing is you know, your body is going to go into neutral, but all those things that are working themselves out are coming out because they're going to be shifting because you're beginning to come into your own. So yes, if you hold it, if you sleep with it, it moves much faster. So I actually sleep with mine. So
Yeah, well, sometimes I need to sleep, so it's like, okay, no, you know, but on those days when I don't need, it doesn't matter, then it's okay.
yeah.
Okay, so that was that. I just wanted to share that because I did get that after the last show. I didn't even tell Cathleena I was getting it. I just went on her website, ordered it, and then I said, "Oh, by the way, I ordered this. When can I expect to get it?" Took a while.
Yeah,
But that was,
for whatever reason, yours took a while. I sent another one last year. It didn't take that long. I don't know what happened.
yeah, who knows? And it's like, it's okay, it'll come next week, you know. And Cathleena's like, well, you know, if you want your money back or if you want me to order another one, it's like, oh, no, I'm sure it'll come next week, you know. So, and then it did. So it's like, I wasn't too concerned.
Yeah.
All right. So we are gonna let's take another question. So Destiny, I know, has some stuff going on. Destiny, you want to unmute yourself? Maybe Cathleena can help you. Destiny?
Hi, Alara.
Hey,
Can
Destiny.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm better today, Alara. Thank you so much.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but I don't really want to go into it. So I'm just wondering what Cathleena, what she picks up on for me.
You know, I don't like those types of questions, right?
Okay.
So pick something
you want me to?
specific.
Okay. I am having problems grounding. Like, I don't know if there's something disrupting me from grounding, or yeah, I feel like there's some kind of destruction or distraction from my being able to ground. There you go, distraction.
Yeah, well, it's funny because even when you just asked the question, what do I pick up on? That was what I was picking up on, is that there's a lot of scattered, like a lot of energies that are around. I feel like that you're probably having a difficult time figuring out your thoughts, maybe even, and you know, what to connect to. It seems like there's chatter. You do have entities and energies around you kind of chattering to you that are talking to you, communicating, chattering around your head a bit. So that's what's causing some confusion. I think that's what's keeping you from grounding. There's like this energy, there's a mischievous, playful, it's not really playful, but energy that's around you, communicating with you.
Yes, yes, I feel that.
Yeah, and you, well, what I can do for you actually is put you in, ground you. I can bring you down into the earth, and put, bring your energy wider. But I think it's important that you dialogue. You know, well, I have to ground you in first to really take that further, because
okay,
there is a communication that's happening with you, but it's an open, that you have an openness. And there's a lot of things I could say, but probably not in this particular arena. But I want to bring up a lot of things I'm looking at. But I can ground you in for this and help kind of shift this out, away, if you make a decision that you don't want that interference.
I would appreciate it. Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, well, let's do grounding. This will be good. This will really put everybody to sleep now. I'm just kidding.
Right.
All right, so let's all take some deep breaths again. And this will be really good too, because, I'm sure that many probably people have some things chattering around them and they don't recognize it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create you much more grounded in and clear some of that around your head and those things, so that if anybody else is having that, you'll be aware. You'll be able to tell kind of where you stop and start. It's another thing that the frequency adjuster does give you. Okay, so let's take some nice deep breaths. I'm just immediately going to ground you straight into the earth. Destiny, I just want you to let go. I want you to take some breaths. And I want you to imagine that you're just kind of resting in the arms of maybe Source or whatever it is that you may trust. Take a deep breath. I'm going to take off of your whole back and body this illusionary feeling of kind of protection, but take some deep breaths. What I'm clearing is this, it's like a false sensation of being on the earth. It's a holographic image. So I'm just moving that so you can feel what it really feels like to be one with the earth. There you go. Take a deep breath. Now I'm clearing around your head. I want you to, we're going to release this frequency of shutting off my crown. We're going to release that frequency from all lifetimes, all lineage. Take a deep breath. It's almost like we're going to take a cap, almost like taking a cap off a bottle off your head. Take a deep breath. As we take that off, I'm going to keep moving those energies upward. We're going to release this on all timelines, all lineage. I'm going to sever any contracts or agreements to have that cut off as we spin that up. There we go. I'm just going to keep severing those contracts and agreements. And you're going to take that all the way up to Source. And with that, we're taking these, alchemizing these entities. They're actually going with it. Keep breathing. As we're severing all these contracts, agreements, all timelines, all lineage. Great. I'm going to expand your energy out 360 degrees. And I'm going to put you in a bubble of white light, pure white light. And let that begin. I'm going to spin that into your central core. And let that begin to spin outward into your entire cellular body, bringing your frequency up to a neutrality presence. I'm going to spin that all the way out the entire cellular body, and conscious, subconscious, and cellular level, every cell. All the way to the fingertips, toes. Beautiful. big breath. Ooh, okay. Tell me how you feel. Wow.
All right, Destiny, how are you doing? Unmute yourself. Good.
Wow, that was huge. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Yeah, you're gonna feel so much better now. That's so great. I put you in that bubble too, so that's kind of a protection bubble. It'll be a sacred space that's just gonna keep integrating you for a while, so you can figure out this new you, feel who you really are. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Good. Feel better, Destiny.
Yes.
Thank you, Lara.
You're welcome.
Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome.
You're welcome.
Good. All right. So that time I did not get hot. I got cold.
Well, there's a lot going on. That was great.
Yeah. All right. So I want to take a few moments and talk about the special offer before we take any more questions. Okay. Because or maybe do something so that I'm hot now, Kathleen.
Yeah, see, now you're switching back and forth. That's funny.
I know,
Yeah.
right? All right. So for those of you who are on the live page, you can just click on special offer. And those of you who are not, you can go to alara.at/show/Cathleena10. All right. So Cathleena, there's 2 packages that you're offering our listeners, our community.
Yeah.
Cannot talk now. Okay,
Yes.
it's all good. All right, so there's package A and package B. So package A is 5 pre-recorded classes with focused activations. And then package B includes everything in package A plus a 1-hour private Zoom session with you, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the activations and then we'll talk about what the private session looks like with you.
Sure. Yeah, so the classes, because they're in the now moment, it doesn't matter when you listen to them, you'll be in the now moment. And, you know, they're, I said they're recorded, but they're all in the same frequency, or I'm doing frequency adjustments and so on in there, the activations. They're all about this particular series. This is the first of 3 that will be in 3 different classes. So I'll be on a couple more times and bring the second. So this one is the mental layer of the toroidal field, which is what I've been talking about. So it's going to clear that out through these activations and clearing. So it's very profound. And yeah, having a private session, of course, I highly recommend anyway. It's similar to what I was just doing here, but we go into much more depth. And I can do a lot of different shifts and changes depending on where you are. As I mentioned before, I see like what's called the human template, and then I work with that template and wherever, and many different things show up, whether it's entities or attachments or contracts or physical things in the body or whatever. So we work with all of that.
Awesome, thank you. And you know, the 1 hour, I was just going to say really quickly, the 1 hour session is a lot like now, but much bigger, you know, like more, you know, deeper and more things can be covered, obviously, right?
Yeah, absolutely. More
Yeah.
tailored.
So, yeah. So those, again, those packages are both available at alara.at/show/Cathleena10. So please do take advantage of them. Take a look at them. You know, work with Cathleena one-on-one. Destiny, you should work with Cathleena one-on-one.
Yeah.
You know, just gonna put that out there. Just work with her one-on-one. All right, that'd be great. Okay,
Yeah.
so pushing her. Do it, Destiny, do it. All right. So do we have time for some more questions?
Sure.
Yeah, we still have some people with their hands raised, etc. So Maria, I know, had a question. She has her hand raised, and she has a question. She has pains in her rib plexus area and hairs falling out and not much sleep. Maria, you want to unmute yourself if you're not walking? She's always walking.
Ah.
Oh, where is she? Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, there she is. Yeah, just don't walk. Oh, not a good connection. There's lots of static noise.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Great.
awesome.
Hi. Just
Hi.
that. Thank you, Laura. Hi. I tune into Flower of Life. I
Uh-huh.
see you on there.
Great. Nice,
Good to see you.
nice to see
Thank you.
you. Sure. You're welcome. So, so you say you have pains in your rib, the plexus area? What rib?
Yeah, it's like it's almost like under my ribs. It's like the solar plexus. It's kind of um just like pins,
Uh-huh.
you know, and it's always in that area, and of course on my right side.
Uh-huh.
And the other day I heard something in my own voice say that it's my left side of the body. So I thought it was strange that my right side is always the problem.
Mm-hmm. Of what you're feeling, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
um, for I have to step into your energy. It's a little you're having a lot of energies that are around you right now because you have a lot that are stepping in. I feel like that really with you, you're pulling in so much. There's so much responsibility. This is what I feel with you. You're taking on a lot. You feel a lot of things are your responsibility, and it's to take care of either other people, other things, situations. You're pulling it all in. You're actually pulling it all in the center of your heart area, and from a physical level it's like a shutting down, oxygenation that's going on. It's what's happening with the hair, it's what's happening with a little bit, it's almost like your breath maybe not getting as much. It's definitely why you're not able to sleep. So it's creating a physicality that it's literally like your energy is coming down and you're pulling in. So and it's definitely it's a distorted, and I believe what you're getting this message to the left is just because it's related to your definition of mom, mother, something like that energy, that's definitely not balanced. So what I'm doing now, it's almost like it's being twisted, like it's like wound up here, and it's just taking everything and kind of distorting in, almost pulling in kind of this kind of energy. So we can unwind that and pull it. It's related to partner. If you're married or what is something in there for sure. That's what's a lot of the twisting.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's creating a lot of that. So we can unwind that. You
Yes.
may have to decide about the partner later, so that's on you.
Okay. That sounds great.
A little bit of this unwinding, because this is something I'm sure for everyone too, where there's this is a lot of what we've been talking about. It's about defining who we are based on what we've been told that we need to do, and ultimately in that energy we don't really have faith, trust, and surrender, which is what we desire right now, in our knowing that we are source, and that's what the energy is trying to come in. Okay.
Great. Yes. Thank you.
All right, so let's just do real quick here, unwinding this for you. So if you want to close your eyes, start taking some nice deep breaths. I already felt it, and it's immediately unwinding that and pulling that out. It's a big lineage. It's a lineage of, it's just your whole lineage, where I don't know what exactly ethnic, but it's a lot of that, and it's a lot of story. It's all being just pulled out. We're going to pull that out of particularly, yes, the whole lower rib area on the right. It's definitely male, father, but mother too. It's a whole lineage. I'm just going to continue to pull that out. So we're going to release this on all timelines. And so I'm just pulling this lineage, and what I'm pulling out is this lineage of these incredible belief system restrictions around family, what it means to be a woman. There's just dialoguing, being a person, how you're supposed to be with people. There's a lot. It's all coming out. We're just taking this whole construct Pulling it all out. It's almost done. Take a deep breath. I'm just going to unplug you completely of that so that you are now free of that. Take a big breath. I'm going to, again, clear in the back of the body. It's this feeling of something holding you up, you know, like it's like, again, you're not in your own power. So I'm just going to create some space in between your back and this construct. Take a deep breath. And I'm creating space between that and your back. So it's putting white light in between. I'm going to spread that out a bit more and let that white light fill up your whole back and penetrate and meet right in the center of your body, so that we, again, just bringing into a neutrality in this now moment. Great. Take a deep breath. I'm going to open up the crown, plugging you completely into source. And into the core of the earth. Beautiful. Great. Take a deep breath. Okay. Tell me how you feel. Whew.
I feel great. I feel good. I feel really nice, light,
Great.
relaxed.
Great. That was a huge, profound, fast energy of like, you're going to feel a lot different. Just let yourself feel, let yourself explore about who you are now.
Yes.
You're going to feel who you are now. It's all coming in. Let that wind, it's good you're outside, let that whole wind, breeze, light come in, tell you, it's going to dialogue to you. Ooh, feel that. You know. That's
I will.
Totally feel that lightness. Let that happen. This will be great. It's for everybody. You know, these are, nobody's isolated to anybody. So that was beautiful.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Maria.
You. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Good. Wow. I'm nice and warm again.
Right. Fantastic. Yay.
That's good. All right, Caroline, you want to ask a quick question? Oh.
Hello,
Oh, she's outside too. Hi.
I am. Hi, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Digestion issues, quite a bit overweight, hold it all in my belly. Digestion issues, what's the deeper issues?
Yeah. Like most, the digestive issues because
I'm going to mute you, Caroline.
yeah, it's because your root is not open. So it's not. It's like a. It's interesting energy actually too. It's just similar to some of the other things. A lot of shutting off the crown. So it's a lot of dialoguing. I'm supposed to be. This idea of what being strong is. It's using a lot more mental energy. It's not feeling like free and safe, and you know, there's a lot of dialoguing. It's a lot of dialoguing going on inside, you know, about how I'm supposed to be, and there's a lot of back and forth dialoguing. So it's not really allowing your emotions. You are very sensitive. You've got a lot going on, and I think that you're not allowing yourself to really feel your own emotions. It's like you get close and you'll feel certain things. And then it's like it keeps moving. I feel like they keep moving because I'm seeing it move. I'm just seeing a lot of things moving in terms of the emotions. There's just a lot of emotions.
And I think that might be for a lot of people as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to you?
Now, is it mine or is it because I'm an empath? Because I do feel a lot of emotions and a lot of my own, and I do let them come through, and I feel them very deeply, and I cry, and I know where they come from.
Okay, but see, that can be the confusion, because what I mean by don't feel doesn't mean you don't feel them. I mean, you're not allowing yourself to be with them, to feel them. So there's a lot. So it's a combination. Yes, it's kind of like, it's like, it's what I get in the story that's affecting the digestion and the weight is something like, you know, and it flips though, so it's not, it doesn't stay at this. Like I said, it keeps moving, but it's sort of like I can't fully have mine because everybody else has these emotions, and I, you know, maybe I have to be strong for somebody else, but then, you know, I'm feeling for them, and part of feeling for them is being strong. And it's this kind of dialoguing that's a bit confusing. And so what it's doing is, that's what I mean, it's not really allowing you to fully engage in your own authenticity and your own emotions. It's constantly having a dialogue about what these are, instead of it just moving and alchemizing and allowing it to come in. Does that make better sense?
Yes, because my original question, actually, and I hope there's not too much wind, I kind of got the phone in my coat here, is, do we, you know, Alara, I asked this, like, do we ever get into balance, you know?
Yes.
And yeah, so yes, it does make sense.
Yes, and how we get into balance is when we stop dialoguing through the physical brain, which is where that whole, you know, the false matrix energy has had us do, and we feel the resonance field when it comes to this mental energy. So that's what's doing it for you, is that every time your frequency, your energies want to try to move all the way up and move out the, you know, third eye crown and plug into the earth, they get convoluted through the dialogues that are happening in the heart, through relationships, through what it means to be a woman, and what it means to be this in the world, for the different people, for the dialogues about, you know, being of service and helping people. It's just, there's a lot of dialoguing, and that is what is causing the digestion to twist, which is where the, you know, the energies and frequencies, and that's of course why the weight, because it's literally like it becomes a weight, you know. So what I can do here, and this is also, yeah, very much what the collective is going through. So it's going to clear out a little bit of that unwinding, and it's judgment. Okay, it's just another level of judgment, and it may be a little bit trickier level, because we're judging through our own emotions while we're feeling them, while we know we feel them, but then there's a judgment in it, you know, and that's why it doesn't seem to get centered and grounded. It's like, when we can simply just allow all these emotions, allow everything to take place, and notice where we're jumping in with any kind of dialogue about how I should and shouldn't be, that's what you want to just go into neutral with, you know, in that dialogue. I mean, even sharing, right? Okay, you recognize that you have digestive stuff, but weight stuff, there's a dialogue in there, you know, because it becomes what that means. You know, there's the judgment in relationship to that. You see what I mean? It's kind of tricky in there. Does that make sense?
Yes. So how do we clear that?
Yeah. Well, I can go in and just do a little bit of clearing with this and see how.
And would I benefit from an hour session? Like, benefit in the manner that it'll actually leave my body or leave my mind?
Well, yes, it all benefits, but you know, but even that dialoguing, see, there is holding that. So yes, of course, yes, but that's right. But see, because there's no the trust, that means I'm not in neutral even with that, right? When I'm looking for something to fix it, that means that I'm broken. We're not. You see what I mean? And that's the place we have to release first. Really, is the place that says that something needs to be fixed. But it's not, that energy doesn't really exist. There is an emotion that I'm attached to, I'm feeling. Does that make sense?
Oh, big time, because my self-talk is, what's the point of doing anything if I can't fix it?
That's it. You see,
Yeah.
that's what we had got to move. So I'm going to move that, and then don't be surprised if you have an uproar of emotions, but you have to allow it. Okay, so I'm going to give you a disclaimer here that when I shift this, you will have experiences and you will have emotions, not necessarily at this very moment, but that does not mean that nothing happened or that you're broken or that it's going in the opposite direction. That's all how you're viewing it. Okay, that is the mental perspective that is the very thing causing this. So you see, that's not neutral. So I want you just to be in the allowing of it. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Thank
right,
you.
so this is great for everybody too, though. This is a huge one for people. And by the way, I'm super hot too. Okay. All right, so let's close our eyes and let's just move this energy here for a minute. Take some deep breaths. And really what I'm going to release is this. I'm going to release the collective belief of identity. We're just going to take the frequency of identity away from you. Release that on all timelines, conscious, subconscious, and cellular level. It's actually a frequency of what we'll call false identity, identifying. It's actually I just took it out, boom, and we're just going to drop you in. I'm going to open up your crown. I'm going to release out this need to figure it out, to fix something. Imagine little particles coming straight out of your head, out of your hair, out of your skin. I'm just going to open up the crown, plug you into source. I'm going to alchemize all that back to source. We take it out of every cell in the skin, muscles. Just keep allowing those little particles just floating. We're alchemizing them all to source. And this has all the frequency of the dialogue of how a woman's supposed to be. It's your mom's frequency as well. We're going to take that out. So we'll continue, we're clearing it halfway down the body now. We're going to move to the hips, the legs, the feet. Just keep imagining like little particles breaking away all the way to the feet. And we're going to have to take your dad's frequency out of the center of your chest. And around your heart as well. Take a deep breath. Again, I'm also going to create that space in your back, in between your back and this whole feeling of you're stuck and you're stiff and you have to figure it out. You have to do it on your own. So I'm going to create a space in between that whole construct and your physical back, bringing in this high frequency diamond white light in between, and we're going to bring that into your physical back. Just pure source. Create that space a little bit wider. Great. Really get more space there. Oh, great. Okay, take a deep breath. And put you in a bubble of high frequency crystalline diamond white light. Expand you out 360 degrees. So this will continue to alchemize. How do you feel?
Lots and lots of yawning. Yeah.
It's good.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Good.
Laura. Thank you, Cathleena. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, lots of yawning here too.
Yeah. Well,
All
I'm
good.
for water.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take one more quick question from Pat, and then I'll see if there's anything else in the chat. Pat's been waiting patiently.
Great. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to grab some water. Be right back.
Yeah, we should all be drinking water right now during this call and after this call. Definitely drink lots of water. That's going to help you to move, continue to move the energy.
Yeah, I ran out right here, so I need to get some more. Yeah, you use a lot of water because the water dissipates actually in this type of frequency and energy, especially with the levels I'm working on.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Pat.
Go ahead, Pat.
Okay. Okay, Cathleena, thanks so much for everything you're doing. I'm experiencing blood pressure issues and I've had to switch different meds, but it's been an up and down ride with that. And I'm still feeling lightheaded too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a lot of pressure there. I can feel a lot of pressure on your heart. Yeah, it feels like you're trying to be a little bit stoic. There's like some holding there. You know, you got this kind of bubble around there. It's like you do have a nice balance. You have a nice energy. You know, there's a lot going on with you, but I feel like that there's pressure around there that you're just not wanting to look at. That maybe it's some fear, or maybe it's fear of, I mean, your age or your space in life, about who you are. I don't know. It's probably has some dialogue in that you're not wanting to, because I can feel it now that we're stepping in. It's kind of taking some pressure off. Ooh, yeah. So you're just, yeah, it's like you're unintentionally kind of cutting it off in this, it's almost like a fear to kind of, I don't know. It's, I'm feeling it shifting a little bit more as I'm stepping into it. Take a deep breath. Yeah, we're shifting it for you.
Thank you.
It just feels like it's actually pretty easy to shift as I'm shifting it now for you. It's just a lot of buildup. When I first saw it, it looked like a bubble that you're kind of holding. It's like you're protecting a bit your heart. It's definitely, you know, you have, it might be your children. They're putting a lot of pressure. You have children?
Yes.
Grown, obviously children. Yeah, there's pressure there from them. There's some kind of pressure that's coming, you know, that you're feeling. I don't know that they're directly doing that, but there's an energy that's going there that you've been protecting. And that's what I want to help you align that so that it's much more alignment, so that you can allow yourself to align more with them in this communication than feeling like I got to keep myself over here for some reason. It's like there's an energy there that you've been doing that. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'll do is just actually kind of, I'm going to clear that a little bit and bring it in. And it really is about, it's going to sound kind of funny, but it's almost like in your case, it's like surrendering life. And it doesn't mean give up on life. It doesn't mean don't have life. But what it means is, what they're saying is like surrender life and like let that be, let it flow. And that way you are present, and you will then be able to expand to your light or whatever it is. There's some fear in that, you know, about like letting go and letting and allowing, you know, whatever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's some kind of a holding going on there. So you're not fully engaging in life. Okay. You're kind of holding this kind of life force. So it's like a letting go of this, of what you think is life right now, like that holding, that sense of, it's not even necessarily a sense of responsibility, but it's like you're holding something for these children. There's a pressure. I think there's two. You have two children?
3.
Okay, 3 of them. Well, 2, I think particularly are putting some pressure.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want, I'll bring in, just kind of clear this. I think this is again for everybody, because a lot of people are having protections around their heart, and it's kind of this backwards thing that says if I protect my heart, I'm somehow living my life. But actually what you're doing is you're shutting it off. And so that's that idea of kind of letting go. And that's what they say, that letting go of life means, like, if I just go, well, I don't care, you know, and it's not like I don't care, but it's more of that control. This is a frequency we're trying to let go of. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So let's just do this real quick here. Take some nice deep breaths. Just close your eyes. Just keep breathing. And actually, we've got you plugged into source, and there's some frequencies coming from divine source through your crown, through your throat, and into this area within your heart, around your chest. Take a deep breath, and we're just carrying this all the way through. This is it's like a divine lineage, your soul family is connected in very quickly as a support for you. Your role as matriarch in this family. Take a deep breath. So we're going to clear this down through to allow you just to be grounded in who you are. It's a frequency balance. It's hard to put into words. Take a deep breath. I'm just going to keep clearing the pressure through the whole vascular system. In the brain, the back of the brain, is some dialoguing. So we're going to release out the dialogue. It's on a much deeper level. It's a more subliminal. So on the subconscious, we're going to take out of the subconscious level this dialoguing of how you've been as a parent, and judging it in any capacity. We're just going to take that dialogue out. And we're clearing through the whole vascular system now. All the way to fingertips to toes. We're going to actually take out of your heart I believe it's a sun. And it doesn't mean that we're taking anything of a positive sort of nature. It's not really positive, negative, but just taking out energies of attachment that are not in alignment. And out of the bloodstream there, it's kind of judgments is what it is, of this frequency of, it's a sun. Take a deep breath. A real big breath, big breath. Good. Okay, tell me how you feel.
Feel like there's a release going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just allow. You have a son? Is that what one of them is, a boy?
Yes. Yes, I have. My oldest child is a son. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was feeling. Some dialoguing there, some judgment, things that's still attaching. Allow that to keep coming out.
Okay.
Imagine it like little particles. It's just, it's just some subconscious dialoguing is still clearing. It's going to clear off this side. Just imagine as little particles just sort of clearing out. So you just keep breathing. So you've been clearing that out of the back of the head and so on. Okay. Whew.
Good. Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Pat. Good.
Very connected to my son. Very, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And there's just been some subconscious dialoguing that is attached to you that's causing some of this.
Okay.
So just letting that release.
Just let that heal. I'll breathe love into it and let
Yeah,
it.
just let it. Just imagine a little particles just leaving. You don't even have to. You don't have to know what it is. Anything. Just
Okay.
keep letting
Let the
little
particles
particles
go.
leave. It's all good.
Okay.
You
Awesome.
decide to have a private session, we can do a lot. I can do a lot more. With anyone doing this, we can go a lot more on all the things that we're working on.
Yeah.
So thank
Cool.
you.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. Awesome. All right. So I know we've probably gone a little bit over, but these were, all such powerful questions and powerful mini sessions for everybody. Has been like amazing on this call. But there was a question that I wanted to just briefly touch on, if you can, Cathleena, from Chris, and he was asking, I don't know if it's a he or she. So Chris is asking about, can I ask about entities attached because of drug use? I have stopped, but attachments, question mark.
Yeah, well, entities do attachments for sure. And I mean, drugs certainly can open up your crown, can open up areas, and definitely. And so, yeah, I mean, many of us have attachments. You have entities and energies that are around, and they do whisper, or they do different things. There's lots of things that go on. So, absolutely. And they can be, we did one of that with here, where we moved some of those energies, and some are agreements. Sometimes you have agreements in other past lifetimes, things like that. And yeah, you do. And I guess if you're concerned about that more in the immediate for yourself, that you can just ask and intend. Your intent can create a lot. So you can intend to raise your frequency to match source and intend to have that around you, which then can let you become aware of things that are, in your energy, that's trying to dialogue to you. The more you get to know yourself, the more you can get into that neutral will be the more that you recognize what's around you. And, we are energy and frequency, and everything's about matching frequencies. So if you've got something around you, you're matching that for some reason. So, we can just begin to understand what that is. And I think it's really important to not think good or bad, that kind of thing, because it's all source. And so just have more curiosity, think about it more as an experience. And definitely, do a private session, we can do a lot with that as well.
Yeah, so you can definitely clear entities and attachments, and if they're not, if they're not serving you, if you don't want them anymore, because I remember, Cathleena, when she was working with Destiny, she asked, if you want to let this go, right? If you don't want this anymore, this interference, right? Because some of us may want certain things, but if you don't, then it can definitely be cleared. So that's there's many ways, but yeah, if you want to book a session with Cathleena, please do so.
Yeah.
All right, and there was another quick question from Randy, which I didn't quite understand, Randy, so I'm just going to read it out and see what Cathleena has to say. When we sense stuff like the crown adjustments we did, I don't know, did we? How can we be more clear on if what we are aware of is right for us or something to eliminate, more or less? So this is again about being familiar with your own energy, right? Being in harmony with your energy, knowing what your own energy is.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how you know whether or not it's something comfortable. I mean, you know those things on your own when you know who you are.
And Randy, you're very intuitive anyways, but go ahead. Did you want to ask something else with that, Randy? Because I know you're unmuted.
Hello, you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
How's my mic? Okay.
Good.
Yeah, it's more than curious. It's a conundrum that approaches almost every day, where I'll sense something. Most chords, I understand the chord to the solar plexus or the root or the bottom of my feet. These we eliminate. But when it comes to the crown, when you, at the beginning of this, I felt stuff going on in my left brain that was coming through my crown. And to be able to discern that, I've learned to invoke more discernment. But to be in a situation where we know that stuff's going on in our brain as relative to the energy work, you know, how do we get to that place where more or less is the choice? Is this right? Do I want more of this, or is this something I want to reduce my experience of? That's putting it mildly. And thank you for your consideration.
Well, I think that when you can qualify your own experience is when you'll be able to answer that. So it's like how I have developed. You know, I've had a lot of different things over my lifetime, and certainly I've been doing this over 30 years. And I've had, I mean, I came in the world on, so I've had, you know, very awareness from very, very young and so on. And I had a lot of different, I've had attachments, I've had contracts, I've had lots of different things. And to me, it's the quality, when it's very, very light and you feel the lightness and you just continue to feel the lightness expansion, is when it is in alignment with me, because that is my frequency. My natural frequency is at a very, very high, fast rate. So when I'm aligning with that, then I know that that's in alignment for me. And you can feel, I mean, if you're this body in the physical world, the whole expression of your soul signature is through this physical body. So it's not just arbitrary to say, you know,
I have constant severe pain. So getting it out of my body is something I do, but it's not something I always want to do.
So severe pain is, first of all, you're identifying it as pain. And it's like, what is that? And what is it? Because on an actual receptor level, there's a choice between a relaxation response and a contraction when it comes to pain. And so pain is not a actual real thing. It's something that is learned, and it's something that is expressed. So you're having a contraction, you're having obviously some type of density in terms of frequencies, but it's like, what am I having and why am I having? So if you only identify it as pain and your blanket, you won't be able to know. But the fact that you are experiencing that right there says that there is denser frequencies occurring within you. And so that's where you want to begin. It's kind of like, okay, well, wait, if I'm experiencing this, what am I really experiencing? Because I'm light. That's my, I'm vibrating at a very, very fast rate as source, as light. So hopefully that makes sense.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, I was gone for a little while, but I'm back. So
That's
hopefully
okay.
everything is good.
Okay.
All right. So that was such an amazing call, Cathleena. It's like, oh my goodness, we're like going, right? So hopefully we, were able to share a little bit about what we had planned to talk about, right? It was uncovering your life's true potential. But we did so many wonderful processes, so much healing, clearing in these processes. It's going to be really important for all of you to drink lots of water and connect to your body. What does your body require? Because there was a lot of energy moving, right? Lots of energy moving. And
Right.
and at the same time, being familiar with who you are now, right? So what is your energy? Who are you? And recognizing that and getting in touch with that. So yeah, Emily says so amazingly transformative. Yeah, it was like so much happening today on the call. It's like amazing.
Yeah, a lot of amazing energies and things, and this is all beautiful and all purposeful. Everyone, and we're just, I said, we're just on the precipice of knowing who we really are, and what our capabilities are, and a lot of things is we're kind of unlearning, and it literally, I always say, we don't really learn anything. We more understand what's been interfering. And that's a lot of what it is just there's been a lot of interference with a lot of different frequencies. And this is why that, a lot of people do have pains. A lot of people have, different conditions in their body, different things like that. This is why these things are going on, because it's all information that's been interacting with us, and we've been absorbing it in this physical body in some capacity. And so that's why the sort of name of the game is to really get neutral. We can get neutral without judgment, then we can actually experience what we have been absorbing, what is around us. And that's when we can shift those. Right?
Beautiful, thank you. And if you'd like to work with Cathleena more, please do check out the 2 packages that are available at alara.at/show/Cathleena10. Package A and then package B. Package B includes a 1-hour personal session with Cathleena. That's what you really want to do. You really want to work with her one-on-one to really start to clear what's there that is not serving you. But then again, it's also about not necessarily just clearing, but getting into the frequency of who you are, right?
Yes.
That's what it's more about, getting into the frequency of who you are and being that more, being an allowance of that and being that more, right? So it's, you know, you can do a lot of work with Cathleena in that hour. So thank you. Thank you, Cathleena. This was wonderful. And again, you know, like I said, I have my frequency adjuster that I got from Cathleena and I love it. I have it with me all the time, usually, either on my desk or on my altar when I'm meditating and praying, or on my couch when I'm doing other work and stuff, right? So it's always with me. And I don't do much, but sometimes I do hold it while I'm talking, or, you know, I just pick it up. And I know that it's been, I think I got it in like early September, mid-September, maybe, right? That's when I finally received it. It took a while.
Yeah, it took a while to get to you.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, but then once I did receive it, and you know, when I look back at, okay, how has my life changed since, you know, beginning of September, mid-September to now? And it's like, oh, quite a bit. I've like done all sorts of different things. I've like new opportunities have come into my life, and I'm calmer, and yeah, there's not a lot of that chatter, you know, that mind chatter, and there's also not a lot of the interference from everywhere as well, right? Because I in the past tended to get attacked as well by entities and so on, and it's not fun.
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, so I've been good.
People are interested in that. That's at frequencyadjuster.com.
Yeah, there you go, frequencyadjuster.com. Check it out. All right, so thank you so much, Cathleena. Yes, we'll definitely have to have you come back again.
Yes,
next season, probably, or like next time you do the next round of your calls program, let me know, right? So yeah, we'll have to have you come back on. Awesome.
Perfect. Okay,
So thank you, and thank you everybody for all of your questions. Wonderful, so much clearing. So please drink lots of water. Please breathe. Continue to breathe. Continue to see those particles of energy leaving your field. Okay, that Cathleena was talking about. See them leaving the field, and also, you know, get in touch with your heart space, with who you are, and connect to that more and more. Okay, so
absolutely. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Take care.